Assalamualaikum. My name is Hafizan bin Ridwan, and today I would like to present about the introduction. Monetary policy refer to the action by a central bank to manage inflation, interest rate, and the money supply to influence economic activities. Its goal include price stability, full employment, and economic growth. Price stability prevents deflation and inflation. Full employment aims to achieve the lowest possible unemployment rate without causing inflation. Economic growth ensures a stable and predictable economic environment. Key tools of monetary policy include open market operation or MOS, buying and selling government security to control the money supply. Buying security adds money to the economy, while selling security removes money. Interest rate policy, changing the policy interest rate, such as a federal funds rate in the US, to influence borrowing and spending by consumer and business. Reserve requirement, adjusting the minimum amount of money banks must hold in reverse. Lowering reverse requirement increases the money supply, while raising them decreases it. Discount rate, the interest rate at which commercial banks borrow from the central bank. Lowering the discount rate encourages banks to lend more, while raising it has the opposite effect. Quantitative easing, an unconventional strategy where the central banks buy long-term security to increase the money supply and lower long-term interest rate. Useful when short-term rates are near zero. Expansionary monetary policy reduce interest rate and increase the money supply to stimulate economic growth. Typically used during a recession. Contractionary monetary policy raises interest rates and reduce the money supply to curb inflation and cool an overheating economy.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Izzati binti Zainisha, and now I'm going to present the background and importance of Bank Negara Malaysia. Bank Negara Malaysia, or BNM, the Central Bank of Malaysia, was established on January 26, 1959 under the Central Bank of Malaysia Act 1958. The primary purpose of the establishment is to promote monetary and financial stability conducive to the sustainable growth of the Malaysia economy. Over the decade, BNM has evolved in its roles and responsibility, adapting to the dynamic economic landscape of Malaysia and the global economy. BNM's core function is encompass various critical areas aimed at ensuring the country's economic stability and growth. This function includes the formulation and implementation of monetary policy, managing interest rate and money supply to achieve low and stable inflation, support sustainable economic growth, and maintain full employment. The central tool for monetary policy in BNM is the overnight policy rate, which is OPR, which leading rates and overall economic activity. BNM also oversees the financial system to ensure its stability and resilience, regulating and supervising financial institutions such as bank, insurance companies, and payment system. By maintaining a robust regulatory framework, BNM aims to prevent systematic risk and safeguard the integrity of the financial sector. Additionally, BNM is responsible for ensure currency and ensuring the availability of a stable and reliable currency system, which involve in designing, printing, and distributing Malaysia ringgit notes and coins while combating counterfeiting. Managing foreign exchange also is another reason critical function in BNM, where BNM monitor and regulates foreign exchange transactions to maintain the stability of the Malaysia ringgit and support international trade and investment.
Having identified the key issue, let's delve into their impact on the economy. The overall economic complexion leads to reduced consumer spending and investment, slowing down economic growth as evidenced by the sharp decline in the GDP growth rate. SME face significant operational difficulties due to liquidity challenges, resulting in closure and layoff, which further aggravate the employment situation. Financial market volatility causes decreased investor confidence and leading to instability in the financial market and affect both local and international investment, thus straining the economy further. The tourism and hospitality sector suffer substantially revenue losses due to the travel restriction and lockdown, which not only lead to cancellation but also discourage future bookings, impact long-term revenue stream. The widespread unemployment resulting from the economic slowdown particularly affect sectors like tourism, aviation, and retail, leading to significant social and economic repercussions, including reduced household income and overall economic instability. In response to the Covid-19 pandemic, Bank Negara Malaysia (BNM) reduced the overnight policy rate (OPR) multiple times to the lower borrowing cost and stimulate economic activity. This interest rate cuts aim to make borrowing cheaper for business and households, encouraging spending and investment. Additionally, BNM implement a 6-month loan moratorium for individuals and SMEs, providing much-needed temporary relief and supporting household consumption and business continuity. To ensure banks had sufficient funds to lend, BNM introduced various liquidity support measures, including reducing the statutory reserve requirement (SRR) and providing funding facilities to financial institutions. BNM also focuses on maintaining financial stability by closely monitoring the banking sector and providing guidance to ensure the robustness of financial institutions. To support economic recovery, BNM coordinates with the government on target economic stimulus packages such as rehelping and Penjana Plan. This package combines fiscal and monetary measures to support vulnerable sectors, protect jobs, and foster recovery. The pandemic also accelerated the adoption of digital payment and financial technologies. BNM promotes this digital financial service to ensure financial inclusion and reduce physical contact, aligning with public health measures. Through these various policies, BNM aims to mitigate the economic impact of the pandemic, ensure liquidity, support business and households, and maintain financial stability. While these measures provided immediate relief and facilitated recovery, their long-term effectiveness and full impact remain subject for further analysis.
Bank Negara monetary policies measured during COVID-19. First is adjustment of overnight policy rates, as we call it OPR. During COVID session by Bank Negara Malaysia has implemented to reduce the OPR rate to the lowest OPR in our history, is at 1.75% from 3.0%. This is encourage people to save their spending and help almost all the industry to grow their progress to help economy Malaysian to be good. in our during COVID-19 season. For the second, in 2022, Bank Negara Malaysia was increased the OPR rate to the 3.0%. This because mostly from the our sector industry has been growth rapidly and steadily in their line, and people was help from the COVID-19, and mostly the Malaysian healthy has been good in this time. Second is more operational of moratorium. Moratorium is a temporary halt to activity until such time. BNM was called banking institution in order to operationalization of moratorium. The Malaysian people that has been subscribed the financings automatically, but the moratorium almost at 6 months.
Hi, and now I'm going to talk about evaluations of BNM's policy effectiveness. To determine how well Bank Negara Malaysia's policies are working, it is important to evaluate several crucial factors that affect inclusive growth, financial resilience, and economic stability. This is an organized framework for evaluation, which is one of the mandatory policy effectiveness. Firstly, this policy consists of inflation control, which can assess Bank Negara Malaysia's success in maintaining price stability through inflation targeting. This will evaluate whether inflation rates have remained within target range over time. Secondly is interest rate transmission, which could analyze how change in BNM's policies rate. For example, overnight policies rate that will influence borrowing costs, consumer spending, and investment decision. Then it will impact on economic growth to evaluate the correlations between BNM's monetary policy decision and gross domestic product growth, which could assess whether monetary policy adjustment have supported sustainable economic expansion. Secondly, the financial stability, for example, is banking sector health. This function is to evaluate the stability and resilience of Malaysian banks under BNM's oversight. Consider indicators such as capital adequacy ratios, asset quality, and profitability. Other than that, financial stability consists of systemic risk management that will assess BNM's effectiveness in identifying and mitigating systemic risks, including measures to prevent financial crisis and ensure overall stability. Besides that, the financial inclusion and development through access to finance and development of financial market. Access to finances is for assess BNM's initiative to promote financial inclusion, particularly among undeserved groups such as SMEs and low-income households, that evaluate the effectiveness of programs like microfinance and financial literacy campaigns, while development of financial market that could evaluate BNM's role in developing robust and inclusive financial markets, including capital market, Islamic finance, and fintech innovation. Other than that, is regulatory effective through regulatory framework and adaptability to risk. Function of regulatory framework is to evaluate the effectiveness of BNM's regulatory framework is ensuring financial stability, market integrity, and consumer protection. Besides that, is communication and transparency through policy communication and transparency in operation. The function of policy communication is to evaluate how effectively BNM communicates its policy decision, objective, and rationale to stakeholders, including financial institutions, business, and the public, while transparency in operations is to assess the transparency of BNM's operation. The other structure approach to evaluating BNM's policy effectiveness are response to economic shocks, which lead crisis management to analyze BNM's response to economic shocks and or crises, such as global financial crisis of the COVID-19 pandemic. Finally is long-term economic goals and methodological approach. Firstly, long-term economic goals are to sustainable and inclusive growth as a BNM contribution to achieve long-term economic goals, including sustainable development. So, evaluating BNM policy's effectiveness requires a comprehensive assessment across the dimension, considering both short-term outcomes and long-term impacts on economic stability, financial resilience, and inclusive growth. By analyzing these factors, stakeholders can gain insights into how effectively B&M's policies have achieved their intended objectives and where adjustment may be needed to enhance effectiveness in the future. Thank you.
For the challenges, first is the delay effects of monetary policy transmissions, delaying the intended outcome from the policy's measures. Second, managing liquidity is aimed to prevent excess of liquidity from financial instability. Second is unconventional monetary policy tools such as a special relief facilities. The other side is coordination between monetary fiscal policies. Any misalignment or delay in fiscal measures could diminish overall effectiveness of monetary policies. But the last is structural characteristics of Malaysia's economy, such as informal sector, also pose challenges for the transmission of monetary policies.
Okay, Bank Negara Malaysia (BNM) keep Malaysia financial system stable and resilient by regulating financial institutions and managing the creation and distribution of currency. During the COVID-19 pandemic, BNM faced challenges due to reduced economic activity and distribution from the Movement Control Order (MCO). To address these challenges, BNM lowered the overnight policy rate (OPR) to boost economic activity and provide a loan repayment moratorium to help borrowers. However, the economy was slow to respond to this measure, and banks were hesitant to lend due to higher credit risk. Global and domestic factors also affected BNM's policy, as a global supply chain and disruption impacted local production and consumption, complicating economic recovery effort. In conclusion, while BNM policy provided essential relief, the pandemic highlighted the needs for a comprehensive strategy combining monetary and fiscal policy. Lessons learned from the pandemic can guide future crisis responses. Thank you.